Friends, this is not a political channel. This is not a channel where I endorse political parties. It's not a channel where I share politics or media. This is a channel where I endorse, share values, where I share moral clarity. And that's why I want to share with you this brief clip of Donald Trump, the president, who just displayed incredible moral clarity regarding the hostages that were taken by Hamas in Gaza. Take a listen, and then listen to my comments at the end.
That reports there that Hamas was going to stop releasing Israeli hostages, and what was your reaction?
I think it's terrible. Look, I looked at the hostages that came in, and they're emaciated. It looked like something out of the 1930s. It's an absolute disgrace. And I think they saw the way the world viewed it, and they're looking for a reason not to send more because they're all. You take a look at that. It looks like it was a concentration camp, which essentially it was. It looks like they came out of the Holocaust. And what a sad thing. One of them was a young man, good-looking guy, a little bit heavier than perhaps he could have been, and now he looks like he's not even recognizable. Not even recognizable.
Is the ceasefire deal at risk of falling apart?
Look, I can tell you that those people have been badly hurt, both mentally and physically. I'm talking about the young women that came out also previously. And I think one of the reasons they're doing this is because they're probably sending the best. What you see is probably the best because they want to send people that look at least healthy. And that's not healthy. These people have been badly hurt. They've been interviewed by our representatives. They've been interviewed by Israeli representatives, and they're really hurting. They are really hurting mentally and physically. And I think Hamas is looking at that and saying, well, it's not going to get much better than that because they probably send out their best as a representative, and they've got more to send out, and they probably feel that they can't do that because it's not going to make them look very good.
Is the ceasefire delay that, sir? Should the ceasefire then be off?
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that because that's Israel's decision, but as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out. And I don't think they're going to do it. I think a lot of them are dead. I think a lot of the hostages are dead. I think it's a great human tragedy what's happened, how people can be that mean to do. I mean, the one guy was laughing when a hostage he thought his family was alive, found out the family was dead, and his captor, so to speak, started laughing because he thought it was so funny. You know, this is a different group of people. No, I would say Saturday at 12, we want them all back. I'm speaking for myself. Israel can override it, but from myself, Saturday at 12 o'clock, and if they're not here, all hell is going to break out.
Moral clarity means you have an unnegotiable sense of right and wrong. And that sense of right and wrong doesn't come from what is popular. That sense of right and wrong comes from a higher power, from a higher sense of truth. For me, that's the Torah. The Torah is the Word of God, and that is the ultimate sense of right and wrong. For many people, right and wrong is what is popular. What do people want to hear? But true moral clarity is not what do people want to hear. It's what do people need to hear. Maybe or maybe not. I may or may not need to word that in a way that is pleasing to people. Sometimes I have to just say the truth as it is. Sometimes that's going to be uncomfortable for some people, but so be it. because moral clarity is objective right and wrong, unnegotiable right and wrong. Somebody who has moral clarity recognizes that life has a fundamental truth to it, and life is not just about preferences. And when it comes to the sacredness of innocent life, which are the hostages in this case, that have been innocently kidnapped, abducted, tortured, some of them murdered, getting them back is not a negotiation. It's not a discussion. It's unnegotiable. They have to come back. And if Hamas will not bring them back, we must act. It's not a question. That's moral clarity. That might not be popular in the eyes of anti-Semites. That might not be popular in the eyes of Palestinian supporters. That might not be popular in the eyes of those who have sympathy for murderers. Who cares? Moral clarity means I care about truth more than I care about people's opinions. Moral clarity means I believe in truth, not just preferences. And getting innocent life back is not just a preference. It's a need. It's a truth. And I'll tell you this, the personal lesson I take away from in my life is that I'd love to focus more on what is necessary, not just what is preferable. What is preferable in the eyes of people can change, and it might not be moral. But what is necessary and what is true, what is real, not in the eyes of popularity, but in the eyes of God and His Torah, remain from generation to generation to generation. And I think this war, unfortunately, is the biggest proof of that. Because Palestinian supporters who are supporting Hamas are doing what is popular. Many of the college students who are protesting are doing what is popular. And they have no idea what they're doing, some of them. But when you stand for truth, you stand for it even when it's not popular. And hopefully it will be popular. There will be a time where truth will be popular. Like Isaiah says in his prophecies, the Messianic era, the whole world will be filled with the knowledge of God. Truth will actually be popular. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.